Today's session is going to be on an EduProtocol that is called Game of Quotes. My name is Nicole House. I am one of the instructional technology coaches, and I will be leading this session. And when you are looking at this session, let me share my screen really quick. You will see that there is a bit.ly here that you can get the presentation. So this should show up now for you. There we go. Alrighty, so you can always go to that bit.ly and it will give you the slide deck and you will be able to have all of these instructions on how to use this protocol. EduProtocols are really nice because what they are basically going to do is give you a format that you can use over and over again. So it's a nice structure for both you and the students. Once you get used to that, they know, you know exactly what to expect, what the kind of procedures are going to be. And then you can just change the curriculum that's going inside of it. So it's an instructional lesson frame, and it's designed to be super engaging for the students. Today's protocol is going to be on reading, but you can use these with anything. So the protocols don't necessarily just have to be subject specific. You'll see with this one, even though it does focus on reading today, you'll see that you could use this in social studies or science or any of those areas as well. So the Game of Quotes is one of 28 protocols that are out there right now. There are multiple, what they call guidebooks. And so I've got one of them here. Of course, it's not going to show up very easily. There it goes. It's an EduProtocol guidebook. This one has 16 of the lessons in it. And then there's a second edition out there now that has more in it. And it's based off of a game called Bring Your Own Book. And it was created by Heather Marshall. So the EduProtocols field guide books are actually written by Marlena Hepburn and John Caripo, and they kind of started gathering these, but I'll show you their website and some additional protocols now that teachers have started submitting, which is what Heather has done here. So this link for her name, you can actually click on that, and then it will take you directly to her protocol and kind of give you some background information on how she developed this. So she basically will share with you that she found this game in a comic book store called Bring Your Own Book and thought that it was amazing and how she could kind of integrate it into her classroom. So that's what we're going to do today. Game of Quotes is a fun one. I picked this one to kind of do the training on so that we could focus on reading. That's a passion of mine. I do lots and lots of reading and really enjoyed teaching my students how to read. So you do always have those obstacles, though. There are those kids that are not quite as interested or maybe struggling with the comprehension side of things, or even just the phonetic piece and getting through the reading and having trouble with that. So with the Game of Quotes, we hope that your kids will get excited about reading. It will give them a purpose and reason to find some textual evidence quickly. So we'll practice that today together. It will also give your students a opportunity to improve their recall of what they've been reading. So we're hoping that this Game of Quotes will help with all of those things and make reading a little bit more exciting and engaging for your kids. There are lots of opportunities to use the Game of Quotes protocol. And so some of them that I've got listed here would be like in a small group situation. So if your students are doing any kind of stations or literature circles, or even like if you have a book club opportunity, those would be good times for them to use this as kind of their discussion piece. You can also do it as a whole class situation, which we're going to do together in a little bit, where a lot of times we want the students to just have an opportunity to read something like a silent reading time. Maybe it's a 10 or 15 minute span of time in your class that you give them an opportunity to read. It can be done with the same reading material or different reading material, doesn't matter. And then you go into this protocol and everybody kind of has an opportunity to share on what they've been doing. You could also do this as a homework activity, which would give them an opportunity to, again, read the same material or different material, and then you could have them answer some questions on paper, or in place of those reading logs, I can give you two sides of the story. I was guilty as the teacher that always assigned the reading logs as part of their homework. And then I was the parent who absolutely could not stand those reading logs when my daughter had to do them. So she is not a reader. And it was a battle for us every day of every week that she had to do those reading logs. So I envision this would have been something that she would have had a little more fun with and enjoyed doing the reading a little bit more. Basically, what happens is everybody does their own reading, and then we have different prompts that we're going to go through that are just kind of fun and silly, but a good way to kind of bring the reading back in. Okay, the first piece that you're going to do, and I can put this in the chat for those of you that are not on the slide deck, is we're going to do some reading. And so basically, oops, I'm on the wrong slide deck. On the little image of myself, the Bitmoji there, if you click on that, it will take you to a website so that we can have some reading sources. I realized this morning that since I am not in person with y'all, I wasn't going to be able to provide books for everybody, which is what I've done in the past. So that link there will take you to a website called World Book Day. And you don't have to log in or anything. You don't even need to do anything besides just going to the button or tab that looks like an open book called Extracts. And when you're there, you'll see some books down below that you can click on any of those. I tried to figure out why some are pink and some are blue. I couldn't figure that out. So you'll just want to go ahead and pick one. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do some reading on it. It doesn't have to be your favorite book. It doesn't even have to be anything that you plan on using in the future. I just need you to get some reading time in. So if you'll just choose one of those and do about 5 minutes of reading, I'm going to set a timer and then we'll come back and I will give you some prompts that we'll go through with them. So go ahead and choose a book for your reading, please. All right, that has been your 5 minutes. Now what we're going to do is we are going to move on to step number 3. I should say, obviously, your reading can be whatever time limit you need. I was just trying to keep it short because it's just for the fun of it here today. But if you normally do like a 15-minute reading period, or you have a certain passage that you want them to read, you can set that time to be whatever you want. The next part is going to be that you would, if you had a real book in front of you, have the opportunity to flip through that, or we are going to just go back through the passage and look for a response to the prompt that I give you. So once somebody in the group says that they've got it, the rest of the class has an additional 2 minutes to go through their book and look for an answer as well. It's going to be a little bit different today because we don't have table groups. So since there's only 3 of us, we'll kind of go through each of ours and decide what our favorite one is for the winner as far as being the different quotes. So you'll see how this goes. Let me go to the next slide here. All right. So our first prompt is an excuse for not having your homework. So please look through what you have already read and find a sentence that would be a good excuse for not having your homework. When you find it, say, got it.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to my story.
At all?
And I mean, he got like cereal stuck in his butt, but like when he fell on his cereal, I mean, but I don't see that as being a valid excuse. That's kind of like my dog ate my homework, you know?
Well, and that's it. That's exactly the point. The kids can choose whatever they want. That
Yeah,
thing, it's almost like that apples to apples game,
sorry, I
right?
was
Where
thinking from my
everybody else,
perspective as an adult.
no. The kids are going to decide whose is the best. So, all right. So Aaron's got it. Saeed already gave his a little bit, I think. Caitlin, how you doing? You got something?
He had spent a very worrying 20 minutes thinking he had to get a rather large boil removed from his bottom.
All right, you guys are like the kids. Okay, all right. Well, that I guess would be an excuse for not having your homework. All right. So mine is my reason for not having my homework would be She's going to Camden, not Cambodia. So obviously this person is leaving, going away somewhere, and so she doesn't have her homework. Again, these don't necessarily have to make sense. You just have to convince everybody else that yours is the best. Very much like I said, like apples to apples. So at this point, if we were in table groups, we would all decide one of them that was the best. And then each table group would present to the rest of the class. So now you've kind of whittled it down from all of your students to just the 5 groups or 6 groups that you have. And from there, you would decide one that's the best even further. So the winner for the class. And it's not anything besides just being funny and having some sort of bragging rights, I guess, would be the winner's choice there. So that one's a fun one because pretty much anything can be an excuse for not having your homework. But you could have a second prompt. So this time I chose my second prompt to be a sentence that would be better read in a British accent. Yes. All right. Caitlin has one. That means you have a minute from now.
Do you want me to say it?
Give them 1 minute. Let's see if they can come up with something. The idea is to give everybody additional time to try to get there so that everybody has something to participate with. Again, if we were sitting in table groups, it would be like 4 or 5 of us in the group. We would all share within this table group, and then we would pick a winner from there. There's just not enough of us to take it that next step after that. All right. I think it's been almost a minute. I've got about 8 seconds left. So let's go ahead and share, and then we'll see which one is the best. Caitlin, what do you think? What do you have?
So this line says, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
That was pretty good in a British accent. I need to get better at my British accent practice. You could have different prompts, though. Imagine if you asked your students to find a line from the book that they read. That would be a good name for a candy bar, or lyrics from a country western song. If you're reading something that everybody's reading the same, it would be an easy way to kind of come up with those prompts because you would know ahead of time what you were going to be looking for. The kids get really, really inventive depending on their age. It might be something that you ask them to come up with a name for a new cartoon, or the Starbucks secret menu one. That one we've had good luck with pretty much all grade levels. For some reason, even those younger kids know about Starbucks. So a secret menu item is an easy one for them to come up with. But we could have done a Minnie Mouse voice instead of doing a British accent this time. Again, for the little kids, that would have been a much easier one. There are all kinds of them out there. You can actually even Google them and find ideas out there. So you don't have to be, super inventive on your own. This list is here for you. Or like I said, if you Google them, different prompts for EduProtocols, it will come up with those. So another one that's really fun that we've done with the older kids is something you might find written on a tombstone. That was a really fun one for them. So I also wanted to share with you that I have the website for the Game of Quotes. Let me go back to it. Is under Heather Marshall that we talked about earlier. And I just wanted to show you this really quick because she has lots of ideas. So if you wanted to do themes for the Game of Quotes, she has some down here for Harry Potter. So she's got whole different templates and examples and the list of quotes, prompts that she uses for the Harry Potter game. So a lot of teachers use that theme and then just go back to it with different reading over and over again. So the kids really like that. If you've done any Harry Potter with them, that's a really popular one. So lots of resources out there for you to be able to find ideas for this. But again, the idea is to use the same template over and over again, but just insert different readings. So you very easily could do this with their science reading or social studies articles, any of those types of things. It could be the literature that they're doing for the week. It could be a chapter book that you are doing for the whole class. Anything that they all have. It doesn't have to be the same reading at the same time. So again, if you just have a time period in class where you do, a 15-minute a day silent reading period. Then they would know at the end of the 15 minutes that you're going to give them a prompt, and just mix it up. Give them different prompts from time to time and tie them in. This gives them the reason to be reading, not just reading because I have to sit here for 15 minutes. Thank you guys for attending today. I do appreciate it.